It's a night of honor and gratitude as we pay tribute to the bravest among us. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights Florida is hosting its annual Purple Heart Banquet, recognizing service members who've made extraordinary sacrifices for our country. The event commemorates Purple Heart Day, and here to tell us more is Diane Stein, the Purple Heart Event Coordinator and President of Citizens Commission on Human Rights Florida. So welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to make this event more recognizable in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this event. It commemorates, Purple Heart Day. Why is it important that we recognize this every year?
Well, the Purple Heart is actually the oldest medal of honor of that type given out in the country. It began with George Washington back in 1782 as a Medal of Merit, and then graduated into what we know today as the Purple Heart. So we have a very large veterans community in the state of Florida. The Tampa Bay area alone is like, I believe, 1.4 million veterans, most of them men, and many of them probably are Purple Heart recipients. So we don't know the exact number.
Right.
So that's, one of the reasons why we want to hold this event, because every August 7th is Purple Heart Day, and then we try to hold our event around that day. So this year it'll be August 2nd.
Yeah.
So it's before the actual national day.
Well, talk about the event. Obviously, there are speakers. We're looking at some video from past years, but what else happens at this event?
Well, not only do we have wonderful speakers, we have a great dinner. It is a free event, so there is no charge. But we also have the Marine Color Guard come, and they do a presentation of the colors, which is one of the most moving experiences that I've had concerning the military. As someone who has military members in my family, it really just, your heart swells. It just really does when you see these young men and women presenting the colors.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that it's free, so really anyone can attend.
Absolutely.
A service member in Florida or their families, you were saying.
Absolutely. Anyone who wants to support the military is invited. You do need to go to our website to register, so we make sure we have enough food and seats.
Yes.
But if you are a veteran or a recipient of a Purple Heart, or your family member was, we especially want you to come. One of the things that we like to do is to take a group photo of all the Purple Heart recipients in the audience as a gift to them, so that they can then have that in the future.
Yeah, and what is it like when you see, all these veterans come together? And I imagine that moment, that picture is very special, because you have this audience filled with people, and then the Purple Heart recipients stand up to take the photo.
It's when you see the Purple Heart recipients sitting there, and everyone is like, literally they're crowding around trying to take photos. But the amount of admiration given to these individuals who have sacrificed so much for our country, it's really heartwarming. It makes you really want to stand up and say thank you to these men and women for their service.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your organization and why it wanted to be involved in this way and host this event?
Absolutely. The Florida chapter of the Citizens Commission on Human Rights has been in Florida since 1989. And as a state with a very large veterans population, mental health human rights for that particular demographic is very important to us. So when we were approached and asked by a local chapter for the Medal of the Purple Heart, could you do something? Could you help us to make this more recognizable? We had to say yes. And so we did that back in 2017. And since then have been working not just to help make this day of recognition more aware, people more aware of it, but also what are the mental health human rights of veterans? How can we help that particular demographic receive the help they need after they've done so much for us?
Yeah, and let's remind people again how they can get involved. So you said they need to register.
Absolutely.
Correct?
So they can go to our website, which is cchrflorida.org, to register for the event. And that's really all they need to do. Once they register, then of course the directions, it's going to be held at the historic Fort Harrison in downtown Clearwater, which is where we always hold it. The venue is made available to us free of charge as well, which then allows us to do this for the veteran community free of charge.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for bringing this to our attention as well. And again, you can find out more information on Eventbrite. Just search for Purple Heart Day 2025 Banquet.